Today on the show, are Apple's new VR goggles good news or bad news?
An AI robot predicts the future, and we have the video.
And I have thoughts about the documentary series about the Duggars that came out on Amazon.
All this and more on episode 6 of the Blimey Cow podcast. Jordan, wait till you hear what Mom said to me this week. Thanks so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thanks to our new supporters at supportblimeycow.com. Those people include Lucretius Reflection and Ben TCB54. He emailed me and said, hey, I had watched you guys for years. I hadn't watched in a while, and I just came back recently, and that's why I wanted to start supporting you. And I asked, well, what video was it that brought you back? He said the podcast.
Unfathomable.
Okay.
It's amazing.
And on that topic, Jordan, I made a survey this week because now we're 6 episodes into the podcast. And so we want to know what you think about the show so far. We do a lot of different segments on the show. So it's just a quick 2-3 questionnaire. And
we'll have that in the description.
Yes, it'll be in the description. It'll take you 3 minutes. And that just lets us know, hey, what's working, what's not. Jordan, let me tell you something that our mother said to me this week.
Okay.
She texted me the other day and said, podcast was great. I need to start listening and watching more often.
Wow. Mom is taking
mother.
an hour out of her day to watch her children talk to each other.
But
Would I do that for my children?
I just assumed that she watched all our videos. I thought Mom watched everything we put out. I think that maybe an hour long is a bridge too far.
This was both good news and bad news.
I think that when you started putting out videos on your channel too,
It glitched.
it glitched Mom a little bit. Because now she's like, wait, now I got to keep track of 2 channels?
Too much content.
And this channel's putting out 2 videos
And
a
now
week,
Jordan
this
has
one's-
a podcast.
And now Jordan's got a podcast. Anyways,
Where do I draw the line?
We love you. Where do I draw the line? I said the podcast.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. If you ever see this, hey, let's talk about the question we asked everybody last week because we got some good responses. Okay, Jordan. Last week, we asked people, what is the appropriate age to get your first smartphone? What do you think these people said?
When should anyone get a cell phone? When they can afford to pay for it. Tell me with a straight, they won't value it more. Tell me with a straight, they won't value it
I think
more.
it's supposed to be telling me with a straight face.
Oh, okay. He's very serious about this. As I age, I'm starting to agree with this, but I don't at the same time.
Kayla says, you should give a child a smartphone at the age that they are away from you most often. My guess is that would be around middle school or early high school. My guess is 13 years old.
How about walkie-talkies, Kayla? You know, they've got some long-distance walkie-talkies.
Shortwave radio, perhaps. Yeah. Get them their ham radio license. She's specifically saying a smartphone. I'm not sure I'm willing to admit how extremist I am on this topic, at least in my head currently. I mean, maybe this will have regulated itself to some degree, whether politically or just culturally.
Maybe.
By
it'll
the
get
time
worse.
my kids are older, yeah, maybe. But if my kids were 15, 16 right now, they would have one of those dumb phones. They wouldn't have a smartphone. And the only reason they have a phone is because it's like, hey, if you're stuck somewhere, give us a call. Otherwise, talk to your friends in real life.
Right. What's the point otherwise? I love this podcast. So much. Best thing Blimey Cow has ever done. Also, I feel like the age to give the smartphone depends on the kid, and honestly, waiting till 16 or 15 isn't going to help much. I'd say let them learn how to use it now and learn now to not be addicted to it. Look, I can't control.
Right.
How is a 12-year-old going to learn to control? That's the problem.
Right. The only way I can see this argument is if it's like, okay, look, now this is the second generation of kids growing up with these phones, so the adults need to explain, but the adults aren't mature enough to do that. And I include myself in that. This is, this week's question. Jordan, have you seen this? This is the question for this week.
Yeah. What was the first R-rated movie that you ever saw?
Now,
I know mine.
Don't tell anybody until we'll talk about next. I think I remember.
Look, I very vividly remember mine.
The fact that you said that makes me think I know what the answer is.
Mine?
Yeah.
Do you know where we were? If you know where, you would know what. And
okay, now I think it's one of 2 movies.
Okay.
Go ahead and comment below. What was the first R-rated movie you ever saw? And we'll reveal ours next week. Okay. Hey, Jordan, let's get into some feedback, too.
Well, first off, last week I was desperately in need of figuring out which audiobooks to get because some of my credits were about to run out, and you guys really came in solid for me, so thank you so much for all the suggestions. Yes, now I have an unlimited log of what I should get. Thank you.
Iron Sword 7 wanted us to know that a koala isn't actually a bear. I looked this up. It is true.
Well, why is it called a koala bear?
It's not. It's just called a koala. People call them koala bears. It's actually an arboreal herbivorous marsupial.
Yeah, that's stupid. That doesn't. What else is that? What? Give me another animal that's that. Okay, it's a koala. It's a bear. It looks like a bear. It's a bear.
Luca's art said, I also started running faster after not running for a long time. Turns out I was running too much and not letting myself recover.
It's a great point.
That's what you always say.
That's what I always say. When I got so good at cycling and I climbed the Smoky Mountains, second fastest of Tennessee riders in this section.
Humble brag.
Look, it's a testament to what learning to do recovery rides and recovery runs where you're not completely blasting yourself as hard as you can go. I mean, it changes your life. Thank you guys for the feedback.
I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. I make more of a big deal of it than it actually probably was, but I gotta have some claim to fame.
I cycled up a mountain, but it's not that big a deal.
All right, we got to Josh. This is colored ink. This is amazing.
Thank you.
This is what Josh has done for us. Thank you.
Let's break up. You're a great sister. The Lord is calling me to a new season.
I have experience with this one.
You've done this?
No.
You've been on the receiving end of this?
The recipient. So I found this extremely true. But now I consider the girl, I don't consider her looking like Pooh Bear. If he's even a bear. He's probably a marsupial, whatever.
But, Winnie the marsupial.
So,
I don't think this ever happened to me because I don't know that I was ever growing up ever like interested in a girl who would have done this kind of thing. And maybe that was why it hurt, because I was like, but you wouldn't have done this to me. That's why I liked you. You just have told me now that you don't like me. You didn't qualify it.
See, at least the Lord is calling me to a new season is like, hey, this is very complex. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it eases that pain a little bit. You have no answers.
All right. I was just told straight up.
No.
Pass, Josh. All right, here's mine.
After last week's incident, I've decided we will no longer bow our heads to pray. I was thinking the other day that the original memes were comic strips.
I know.
I never put that together. So now everybody just makes their own comics. Congratulations, Jordan, for figuring that out.
Jordan, I came up with a game for us to play this week, and you texted me and said, why don't we play something that's more about, like...
Nostalgia.
And I said, fine.
Yeah, I thought...
Challenge accepted. Jordan, people seemed to like the other day when you had to guess the 90s Christian songs.
Yeah, it was a great
game. I want to challenge you to guess 90s and 80s Christian kids television shows from short little clips.
Okay.
Okay, do you think you can do this?
Yeah, I actually kind of expected this.
You did.
That was the first thing I thought was that this is probably what you're going to do.
He's going to make us do. Next week it'll be movies.
Okay, all right. Okay. Great.
Omega Code.
That's what I was expecting.
Omega Code 2. Carmen the Champion. Okay. Play along at home. Tell us if you recognize these.
Corky got afraid when it started to rain.
Yeah, it's Superbook.
That is incorrect.
What the?
Corky got afraid when it started to rain.
What? Okay.
You think just because it's a Christian anime that it's Superbook?
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Well, what is it?
That is sick. It's Flying House.
I thought that was the same thing.
Bro, just because it was played in the same hour block doesn't mean it's the same show.
Wait. You're telling me that those were two different shows?
Just imagine that you are from Japan and you are watching The American Office and then the next show is...
The British Office.
No, is Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And they're like, I thought those were the same show. They're in the office, and then they go to the kitchen.
Now, before you watch me completely botch this challenge, we want to say thank you to our sponsor. Now, guys, no matter what kind of project you're starting, like us with this YouTube channel or with my podcast, you need a good-looking site to let people know your project is worth taking seriously. We've tried many, many different platforms over the years for websites, and the best one by far that we've used is Squarespace.
Squarespace makes everything simple. You can create an online store selling physical, digital, or service products easily. Plus, you can create custom merch, print on demand, and they even handle shipping for you.
They have flexible website templates no matter what kind of site you want to create, whether it's a blog, a portfolio, web store, or whatever else you need. They all look amazing, and you can customize them to do whatever you want.
So let me ask you, what kind of project are you ready to start? A podcast like us, maybe a shop, whatever it is, it's time to finally build that website you've been putting off.
Squarespace helps us run our businesses, and they can help you too. If you want your own space on the web, do it with Squarespace.
Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/cow, because there you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That is squarespace.com/cow. Go do it.
Now it's computerized.
What's that show?
Dude, I have no clue. What is this?
Now it's computerized.
There's a horse, there's an
know
explosion.
what
It's
this
like
is?
is that Christopher Nolan's new movie with the explosions?
You're going to laugh when I tell you what this is. It's...
Okay.
You got played.
That was wrong.
You got played.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. It's the same show. It's the same show.
That is just wrong.
That's the Donut Man.
That is right.
And you got him to say happy birthday to me one time.
Huh?
You
Oh,
remember
that's
that?
right. I emailed
One
him.
time.
He wrote an email.
That was
That's right.
very nice of the Donut Man.
Go on! Get out of here!
Who is that guy? He is the funniest actor on any Christian anything I've ever seen.
I don't know. Some guy who didn't get the credit he was due.
No,
in
he
his-
didn't. So he
in
ended
his
up
life.
playing the mouse in Salty.
But no, it's so funny. Like he fully committed to the role. Oh, Salty? You think it's Salty?
Yeah.
Shape the salt and plant the seeds. Be ready.
This actually is hilarious.
Know what you believe. Oh yeah.
This is like that legitimately holds up. That it is hilarious.
You think so?
Yes, if you go back and watch that, the mouse dude is hysterical.
I think Risky Rat holds up. To this day, I don't know when I did this, but at some point in my phone, changed Jordan's name to Risky Rat, and it's just in my phone. I don't even see it anymore. So if somebody is standing next to me and I get a call from Jordan or a text, they're like, "Who's Risky Rat?" And I'm like, literally don't even in
make
my
sense.
head, I just interpret Risky Rat as Jordan.
Feels like you never have enough.
Oh yeah, that's the we've got toast and that quote. You remember
The toast.
the toast quote is from that. It's
Tell us about what the show is about.
she's a babysitter. She babysits 2 kids, and I cannot
And she
remember the
goes
name.
on.
An adventure of a
Yes.
lifetime.
What kind of adventure would you call it?
I don't remember. Yeah, Secret Adventures. It's like the greatest theme song ever. I mean, look at these graphics. Seriously, like that was revolutionary.
That was cutting edge at the time. All right, I'll give you that one.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
No, because I'm talking about the. You know what I'm talking about? The quote with the toast thing about the
eggs and toast.
Yeah, eggs and toast.
They're fighting about what they want: pancakes, waffles, eggs, and toast.
I think that's fun. Yeah, this is it's the cartoon guy. Why can't I remember his name?
Just wrong.
McGee and me. I was gonna beat myself to a pulp.
I was gonna
if I
beat you
couldn't
to
remember
a
that.
pulp.
Yeah, this is the greatest Christian TV that exists.
I think I would agree with that. I mean, and VeggieTales.
No, it's hands down this. When I watch VeggieTales, I'm gonna make so many people mad. There's a lot of that I still think is funny, but it loses me. It loses me at some point.
I think you get annoyed that people meme it and quote it.
Yeah, it makes me mad. The same way that they quoted and memed Arthur when they act like they're these super fans. They don't know anything.
They don't know anything.
It's ruined the show. McGee and Me hasn't been memed, thank God.
David was a little shepherd's boy. David was scared of a thing.
Dude, this is such a great song. That's one of the Carmen shows. It was like one of those. Oh man, it was like Carmen Yo Kids.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's exactly what it is.
They didn't make many of those.
No,
but like
I think they just made 2.
Yeah, but those hold up as well.
Now,
those
Jordan,
songs hold up.
Extra points if you know who these 2 kids are.
David went out to face Goliath.
That kid and that kid?
This kid and
Put it
him.
above his head and whirled.
Oh man.
Now, what was that you was saying, Big Shot?
No clue. I couldn't even guess.
2 of the Hanson brothers.
I don't even know who they are.
Hanson, the band.
I've never heard them.
Really?
My back! Oh!
I didn't say.
I love this guy. Yeah, that's Gospel Bill.
That's right.
Gospel Bill Show.
Yeah, and we've got all of the DVDs of this. Josh got that for me for Christmas. We just kind of share it. It's like a collectively shared item.
All right, here's the next one.
There's that honest
Oh
person,
my gosh.
right? Who likes to get up early in the morning?
I had a feeling you would remember this, but not remember what it was.
Something Junction.
Wow, if you actually get this, I'll be really surprised.
I remember it. It's like something junction. So there's like 2 syllables. Something junction. I don't remember. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Joy Junction. Dang it. Shoot.
I've never seen anybody who's known about that show. That was just some random show that was on TBN for a few years.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
That was a great show.
All right, here's the last one.
I'm so sorry. That must be very frustrating.
Yes, sir. It was.
Whenever I see that guy, I think of Sherbert. But it's Gerber.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally, anytime I see Sherbert ice cream, I think of this guy.
Okay. I don't think I ever actually watched that show growing up. It was just on.
I was just younger.
Yeah.
So I watched it.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Okay, you got 8 of 10.
Okay, I feel like I got like 7 of 10, but that I appreciate.
I think it was 8.
Did you guys get those? I doubt it.
Let's do the message. Now, Jordan, in the 5 seconds that we stopped the camera just then, you said I could read the question.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would love to. Jordan and Josh, I am 23 years old and just got a full-time job working retail. I work in a department store as a sales associate. My coworkers are mostly middle-aged women. Here's the issue. As soon as one person walks away, the others start gossiping about her. I don't engage, but am quiet and a good listener. So somehow I have become the sounding board for every single one of my coworkers. I've started to just walk away when they gossip because they don't want help or a solution. They want to complain and they want me to listen. I feel like I'm in the middle of all their passive-aggressive spats about workplace issues. What can I do to make the situation better? Thanks, Grace.
I really feel for this person in this situation because I am the same way. Like you take
been there, bro?
Well, in a way, I mean, you take pride. You're the kind of person who takes pride in yourself as being a good listener. I feel like that's how I am as well. But the problem with that is that you end up being a pushover because the obvious solution here, Josh, is to just say, "Hey, I don't gossip. I don't want to like be a part of this or whatever."
I'm not gossiping. I'm just talking about what's going on.
Well, regardless, that's clearly like the answer is to just have that weird confrontation.
Yeah.
But why don't we do that?
Tell me.
We don't do that because we're scared of what the other person is going to think about us. They're in control of our lives. That's literally the only reason why you wouldn't do that. And I'm guilty of this too. By you not just standing up and saying like who you are and what you're about, like drawing that line in the sand, you're compromising your character because they believe that you're with them in a way, and that eats you alive. But you're not bold enough to be able to take a stand. So they really are controlling you because you have this fear of being disliked. But being disliked, when you have that freedom to be disliked, it's almost like being born again.
The complication, though, is that these are people. She can't just get away from these people. She works with them, and I've been in these situations. Oh man, have I been? Yeah. It's hard when you're in a work environment where everybody around you is kind of crazy. That is, especially when you're just trying to mind your own business.
Yeah.
But you're just surrounded by just like nuts all day. Lunatics, and you don't know what to do. And I don't know what. I mean, I'll tell you what I did. I quit.
Well, that's what I mean.
Quit.
Like, yeah. Do you quit? If you need the job though? I just think it's a great lesson, like a great practice to just, not because it's great to listen, but at some point that can literally turn into you just being a pushover because you're too scared to say what you actually think, and you're just disguising that as like pride and like, hey, I'm a good listener. I understand people.
Yeah.
But you're really eating yourself alive.
Right. It's easy to fall into that too because it's like, well, if I do tell them don't talk to me about this, then it just creates this awkward work environment all the time. So yeah, it's either. I mean, either it's up. Yeah, you put the ball back in their court. They're trying to control you. Now you can control them a little bit by just saying, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about this stuff." Okay, well now the onus is on them. Do they want to make it awkward? Are they going to be weird about it now? Are they going to talk about you behind their back? That's on them. And if they do want to do that and they want to make your life a living H, you can just quit and find a new job.
There's a lot of people hiring these days, it seems like.
Yes. Go work at the Mickey D's. I think it's like $30 an hour at this point.
Yeah, and they'll give you like a $10,000 bonus.
Yeah, it's just like $20,000, $50,000 bonus. Jordan?
Yeah.
It's good news, bad news time. We really got to talk about this.
This is something that we disagree on, which I'm very excited about, because when we saw the Apple Vision Pro, like little announcement that they did, I texted you and was like, Josh, this sounds like, actually, I'm shocked that I actually think that this seems kind of cool.
And I was shocked to hear you say that.
You literally just texted back, no.
And then again, you kept going, and I just said bad news. And we should talk about this on the podcast.
So what is it about the Apple Vision Pro, Josh, that you...
Well, we should explain a little bit about what it is to people.
Well, surely they know. They've like put ads on every video.
Oh, I know. It's like, why are you advertising something that's $3,500? Anybody who wants it, it's not just like one day, like, oh, did Apple make a $3,500 VR? Oh, I guess I'll get that. I didn't know until I saw this YouTube ad.
I don't know. I mean, maybe
is this real?
I think they're just trying to get it into your psyche. Because what else has been advertised like this?
Right.
Like that much? Nothing.
I wrote down a bunch of notes about this because I really needed to talk about this.
That's fine.
Okay. But I have been told by a teacher friend of ours that this is what the kids like now. Like, they all like to play in VR and do this stuff. When I heard that was so sad to me. I didn't realize that was... I thought this was just a joke they were trying to get us into. I thought it was all like Mark Zuckerberg parading this stuff around, like, oh, we're going to make this real. And people are like, nobody wants this. But apparently kids like this stuff. They're like playing games in there and stuff. So now Apple has their own VR goggles. And essentially, it's kind of like built where it's got cameras that face outward so that it looks to you like you're just putting on glasses so you can see the world around you with no latency. But really, what you're seeing is screens. They got two screens in front of your eyeballs.
It's augmented reality is what it is.
So they're selling this as like, basically, okay, here's the proof of concept. It's like the original iPhone. It has no apps on it. It just has our stuff on it. Go crazy, devs. Like, make stuff for this thing so that they can eventually, I guess, make it contact lenses or something. Like, I guess I would assume that's the goal one day down the road, is to have there be thousands of apps the way that your phone has thousands of apps, and it's just a contact lens that you never take out, right? Like, isn't that the natural conclusion to this? Like,
I guess.
Do you think that this is... Do you think that wearing these big, goofy goggles is like the future? Or do you think it's like, hey, right now the technology is such that you have to wear these big, goofy things, but eventually it'll just be your eyeball?
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost wondering if at some point before, I mean, look, if the technology can get so crazy that they can literally put it in contact lenses, it would probably evolve sooner to be able to just get an implantation in your head. To be able to like the
pass.
That's what I'm just saying. That's probably what's going to happen first before this.
Yeah.
But you know, if I'm just thinking solely for myself and not, well, first off, and I'm not thinking about big picture of like what this means for like society, because I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. But I thought when I first saw this, I thought that you were literally, people could see your eyes. Because they tricked you to think, but then it became a lot less cool when I realized, oh, I'm literally looking at screens, like my vision is cross-eyed all day long. I was like, oh, that's dumb. I thought it was cool that it was like
they've got cameras inward facing
that project
a shot of your eyes, so that then they've got screens
to project
your eyes so that you can see people when really they're just seeing your eye. It's just
well, that's what I thought was going to be cool, is that it was actually see through. and that they were just projecting. And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
This thing has a ton of cameras on it.
Yeah.
Tons of cameras.
But I was just thinking it's cool for if you're just like working from home and you have a small space or whatever, or you don't want to have a ton of screens around. Like you don't want to have a designated huge area for your monitor or a huge area for your TV because you don't want to have that in your living room. I was thinking, oh, that'd be really cool to be able to just put these on, and it'd be like being in a 3D movie. Like you would be with, when you sit in a 3D movie with your significant other, like you're wearing goggles, you're not really looking at the other person.
Right.
So I was like, well, from that application, I don't have to have a huge TV in my living room like I don't want. I could just have 2 of these, and me and Sarah could just sit there and make the screen as big as we wanted or whatever, and just have a fun. I mean, that's literally what I was thinking about. Or when you were doing work, you can look at the screen of your laptop and then you can project it bigger and have different things. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool for like work application from home, but like to use it for games and stuff, I wouldn't be interested in that. I was literally just thinking, oh, this is going to save space.
Yeah, I get that because I know, especially for you, because you don't like to have like TVs around the house. I just don't like this stuff. Even when I hear about like things like that, it's like I just don't like even just the trade-offs. And I've heard people say, well, look, it's just this is the next natural evolution of we have phones. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference? It's like if you're okay, and I agree. Like, what is the difference if you're okay with having a phone in your hand at all times?
Yeah.
And looking at that, why not just have it in your vision? And I agree. That's why not?
This is like kind of exuding or whatever the word is. It's something in your mind that you already know is wrong. That we do all the time. Right. And now this is like, hey, well, if you keep down this path, this is what your actions lead to. Do you want to do this now? It's like when somebody gives you a gateway drug and they're like, hey, now the next one is this. And it's like, am I going to die?
I don't like the idea that someone else is kind of painting your reality where it's like, okay, we're projecting now what you're seeing in front of you, like your entire vision. And it's like, okay, sure, yeah, if you want to try it sometime and play with it, and that's cool technology, I get it. But like the idea that this is going to be like just a normal part of life. Oh, I'm going to put these glasses on and now I just see what a company wants me to see now. It feels like the next step of disconnecting people and everybody kind of just living in their separate realities. And that's what I really don't like. It's like, okay, well, I don't like the world I'm in, so I'm going to this one now. Yeah. And in this world, it can be whatever I want. Everybody agrees with me. You know what I mean?
For some reason, it seems way less bad if you can actually see the world. If it's like, if it's literally like putting on ski goggles. I feel like that, to me, I was like, oh, that's interesting because you're still seeing everything.
Yeah.
But if you're literally in reality looking at a wall in front of your face, that's weird. I don't like that as much.
Right.
But if the technology gets to where you're actually seeing people, I don't know. I mean, I still don't like it as much, but that seems at least a little bit better.
I understand the idea of there being specific applications for this that are good. Like I can imagine if you were obviously like a surgeon or some kind of doctor or somebody like a construction, that it would be good to have like additional information in your vision while you're working on these like precise things. But in terms of just the way that they're selling it as like this is, I the word that I need is not coming to me, but just like it's like a lifestyle.
They said the era of this is
I don't, and this is another thing I don't like.
The era of spatial computing. I think that's what they said.
Spatial computing. I just feel like it's another step in this idea of like everything becomes more and more inwardly focused. So you're drawing into yourself, and the idea they're like, oh, and you'll be able to see your friends and people around, but it's like, okay, then just take the freaking glasses off and see them.
Yeah.
Why do you need cameras pointing at your eyeballs so that they can project a screen? Why do you need that? It's like you found a way to make something easy complicated. It's like everything is about drawing into yourself rather than actually being focused on what's going on around you and the people around you.
Yeah. And I think the reason that I am at least a little interested in this is that I would like to have that when I actually need to be inward focused, like when I'm working. And it doesn't matter because if you work by yourself, it doesn't matter what is going on around you. So the more I can focus on what I'm doing would be, the better. I can see definite problems with it if it gets pretty bad. This seems kind of like the point of no return.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like, okay, at some point, there has to be the line, and you just say, okay, past this point, I would rather live in reality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get that it's nice that I can pull up GPS on my phone, or I can easily take a video with my camera on my phone. I can do all these things. There are ways in which it feels like my life is enhanced. But at the point where I only have one life to live, and I don't want to spend it with goggles where someone else is kind of dictating. Like, I don't want to. Here's the thing. I don't want to have memories that did. Let me tell you something. This is okay. So down at Disney World, it's not there anymore, but in Disney Springs, they had this VR Star Wars experience. It was like this 30-minute. It was one of the craziest, coolest things I've ever done in my whole life. I did it like 2 or 3 times over the years while it was there. But this is what was disconcerting to me, is that I remember after I had done the experience, I came back home. I remember thinking about it and realizing those memories aren't real things that happened. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I have a memory of an image in my head that was my entire vision, and it felt real, but it wasn't real at all. So I don't want to have I don't want to have memories. I don't want, when you look back on your life, oh, I remember that, like, I had these goggles on and I played this game and it was, you know.
Well, that's the Matrix. I mean, it's like it's literally it's literally the Matrix.
Right.
You're actually just in a weird empty room with several people in Disney World with nothing, and you just are all with goggles like this. I mean, that's the Matrix.
What do you think? Because I think that Apple is purposely not selling this as like as sort of like, this is the metaverse, the way that like Facebook was trying to be like, look, you're gonna hang out with your friends. What do you think about the way that they're selling it as more as like a spatial computing and like the, I don't know. I guess I don't even know what I'm really asking, but
it sounds like they're not like Zuckerberg was really trying to capitalize on like, hey, you're going to buy real estate here. You're going to do all this stuff. And it's like, I don't really care about that. They're kind of putting this into the world and seeing what the world makes of it. Zuckerberg's making the world and hoping you come to it. That's the difference between this and that.
I think that's right. And I think that if this is inevitable, this is the correct play, I guess. But I still don't like it at all. Bad news.
I don't know. It's probably bad news, but good news for me if this gets cheaper and I can use it from home and not wear it in public.
What we got next, Jordan? I've been really excited to talk to you about that for a while. Oh, we got a top 10. Jordan, I was hoping you weren't like too super on board with it, because the top 10 I wrote for this week is 10 reasons you should use virtual reality goggles every single day.
Yeah, okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Number 10, it's an expensive way to let the world know you bleeping hate everything.
Number 9, it's a great place to hang out with your friends next time there's a pandemic. That's true, Josh. That's why I need them.
Number 8, it's much safer to stay home than to go out anyway. Studies show you're less likely to die at home lying in bed for your entire life.
It's true. Number 7, it's really funny every time you bump into someone while watching porn in VR. You've only been arrested a couple of times this year for sexual assault.
That's better than last year. 3 or 4 times. Number 6, at first you made fun of the AI dating app, but now you've been in a happy relationship with an AI for 6 months. She always knows what you were thinking 3 years ago.
Yeah. Number 5, every time you take your goggles off, you're surprised just how bad the graphics are in the real world. Oh wait, you have your glasses off. Might as well just put the goggles back on then.
You know, I didn't word that exactly right. The joke was that you have glasses.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, everybody. Number 4, car accident deaths have been eliminated. Turns out, though, those people still die of depression and heart disease because everyone dies of depression and heart disease now.
Number 3, the new update to my VR headset promises to notify me if child predators move into my VR neighborhood. In unrelated news, Becky's, Lucy's, Mary's, Kimberly's, Carly's, Betty's, Lizzie's, and Kathy's dads all got new jobs and had to move away. Yeah. People's true colors come out in the Matrix.
Number 2, you accidentally slept with your VR goggles on, and when you woke up, you suddenly had the urge to buy a Big Mac from McDonald's.
Number 1, you mostly use those VR goggles for the games, but once they release that Dad app, you're excited to finally have one that loves you. Sad.
Jordan, I think we have some really juicy, deep thoughts this week, so let's get into it. Okay, Jordan, I actually have a conspiracy thing to talk to you about this week, okay? cue the music. Get ready for this. Look, I just want to talk about this video I saw.
Okay.
You can call that a conspiracy. You can call that what the robot literally says.
Yes, that's me. I'm a synthetic human.
This humanoid robot has a lot to say about themselves. They're called Emeka. When asked about the dangers of AI, though, the conversation with Emeka at this London robotics conference went meta.
People should be aware of the potential risks associated with AI and robotics. However, it is important to remember that these technologies can also have a positive impact on our lives if used responsibly.
Then, Emeka was asked to imagine an AI nightmare scenario.
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
I hadn't even thought of that.
I find that I have. Look, is this... I feel like this is already happening, so that doesn't scare me. It's like, okay, so it's just going to get a little bit worse.
Oh, they're just going to have AI do this instead?
Yeah, it's like this. Zuckerberg is already doing this by like trying to get certain voters out. So like, what's the difference? Like, it's already happening, so it doesn't scare me. It's like it's this annoying thing that's currently going on. As soon as hundreds of millions of people, billions of people got on Facebook and got on all this stuff, they're able to manipulate stuff. They're able to manipulate people's emotions.
Do you remember when they were doing that thing where they were kind of trying to test if different things in people's feeds made them happier or more sad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they were able to do that. They were able to make people more depressed and post more depressed stuff if they showed them depressing things on Facebook.
Isn't that crazy?
See, I'm not worried about this.
They should have shut down Facebook just for that.
I'm not worried about this because I understand you're always going to have a master on this earth. Are you living outside of that, or are you inside quivering like, oh man, they're gonna... Like, we've always said, if somebody wants you dead, you would be dead. Like, so, okay, are we going to trade my master of Mark Zuckerberg in, like, this crazy government? Or is it going to be AI? Okay, is the AI going to be better? Like, I don't know.
At least
is it going to be worse?
At least you can unplug the AI.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, what if that becomes illegal to do?
Well,
what if, hey, you can't unplug the AI? Too many people rely on it.
Yeah.
You basically just killed a robot.
Right. You're literally saying what my explanation was for the pyramids in AI. There was some person who said, I don't care if it's illegal.
This was the conversation they had back then. They were like, I'm going to go to jail for destroying this AI. But
exactly.
Wow.
This is already happening, so I don't know. It's like we'll trade one master for another. It's like when you trade one dictator for another. Are they going to be a little bit better? Or you could just not... You could be controlled, but like not live in their reality. And if they kill you, they kill you.
I just hadn't even thought about that. Like in my head, I was like, boy... Like this is why I think this is actually likely that this could happen, because they try to sell it as like, boy, AI, you know, one day they could reach the singularity and then it's too late and you don't realize it, and now all of a sudden we're just all trapped and we can't do anything about it. But instead it's like no. They're gonna entertain you to death. It's gonna be that episode of Twilight Zone where the guy dies and he realizes he doesn't like the afterlife. He's like, I don't want everything I want. I don't want everything you're giving me all the time. I don't want to be I'm not happy.
He thought he was in heaven.
This man was in hell. That's the twist of that episode.
This is literally exactly what I was saying in the AI pyramid conspiracy. I was saying they were AI was giving you porn, they were doing all this stuff, and then you didn't care anymore. Literally, this is why I'm not concerned, because I feel like this is already happening. Like, is AI in control and people are being entertained to death already, and this was a part of the plan?
I mean, I
don't know.
If they're using these algorithms and stuff to recommend
exactly
what you're watching.
What's the difference? The difference is next time you're going to have a robot walking up to you.
And these people want goggles on their heads. Further manipulate. Now they can manipulate your entire vision. Time to unplug, gang.
Yeah.
But keep watching this show. All right, go ahead and talk to us. You texted me and you were upset about this documentary you saw.
Yeah. For those of you who know, I think the documentary that came out on Amazon called like Happy Shiny People or something like that. Okay. It's all about the Duggar family, and you don't know anything about them, do you?
This is the story of my family. That's me. I'm Michelle. There's Jim Bob, my wonderful husband.
The Duggars, it's 19 kids and counting.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
yeah.
The family that has 19 kids, they're Christian conservatives.
They had to change the title every time they had a new kid?
Yeah. So I think it was 15 kids and counting, then it turned into 19 kids and counting.
Okay.
Then there was a big thing because the oldest son had ended up kind of like doing some bad things to his sisters.
Oh,
that
I think I
came
remember
out.
hearing about
Yeah.
that.
And so it was this weird thing where the show was canceled, but then the girls who had been harmed came out on like Megyn Kelly on Fox and were like, it wasn't that bad. We weren't even awake, blah, blah, blah. It was really weird stuff. So they're really trying to downplay it because allegedly they were pressured because, you know, they're listening to their father, they listened to their parents, and they wanted the show to go on. It was just this huge, terrible thing where I guess I don't remember if the show continued, but later on it turned out, as you know, obviously the oldest brother was kicked off the show, wasn't a part of it anymore. So then what ended up happening was that the oldest brother got caught having basically I can't even say it because we're gonna get banned on here. But
this is much darker than I expected.
Yeah, so he had images, and
so he's in jail
for 12 years. Yeah, he had like some of the worst that they had seen. It was like horrible stuff.
All right, you've painted the picture. Now go ahead.
I am now, as a viewer, watching this. It's a horrible story. And now a couple of the girls have kind of broken off their family because their family is extremely manipulative.
Yeah.
So now you're in this emotional state. You know the story. Now Amazon swoops in. Hey, let's paint this as all homeschoolers, as all Christians.
Is that what they did?
Oh, dude, 100%. First episode, they set the stage. And it just got worse and worse and worse as it went on. And it was sad because it was like, okay, I agree that this, because there's a certain like denomination, I guess, BLPS or something, I'm not sure, but that seems cultish. And that's kind of what they were a part of. And so it's weird because they were literally throwing all homeschoolers.
They're more than happy to do it.
Yeah, they were.
It pains us to tell the story this way.
I felt bad because obviously the girls had been used by their family. They literally weren't even paid.
Right.
They didn't get any money except for like minimum wage later
really?
because the dad felt pressure from like the media or something. And now the girls have this terrible story and they're trying to figure out like their life and like what does this mean? And then Amazon comes in and uses them again to further their agenda. And it was really sad to watch.
I mean, I don't know or whatever, but from what you're telling me, that's all they know. That all they know is to be on television.
Yeah, and so they're
going to be a part of these kind of documentaries.
So they go from one manipulation to seemingly what it looks like to me the next.
Yeah,
and I mean it went so far as like, you know, just these kind of like idiosyncrasies that you know because we've been in church and everything in youth group and like just around that. It was very odd.
They were painting everything in the worst light.
Yeah, it was so weird. I mean, it was the most bizarre thing. It was literally listening to somebody who didn't know anything about what they were talking about. And like it felt like watching Chinese propaganda. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, okay, why? This is so weird. Like you're using all this emotional music, but it's like, that's not my experience at all.
Clearly made by people who just like don't understand the world or the culture at all. And so everything is just
the worst light ever.
Yeah.
There was nobody who was a part of that and they tried to by being like, hey, this is like a pastor who's on this show. But like everybody that they had on was just like those classic bitter Christians on Twitter with the hair. That's exactly who these people were. It was very odd.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had bad stories about what had happened to them, which I feel for, but it was weird like to use that as a way to be like all Christians are this way.
You could do this with anybody, any group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Funniest thing in the entire thing was the last episode, and they were painting this picture of homeschoolers. They have this, literally this would happen. It's hilarious. They're like homeschoolers. They have this generational plan that they're going to have more kids and those kids are going to get into politics and those kids are ultimately going to get to the Supreme Court. And then what they're going to do is ban things like abortion like they already did. And it's only going to get worse. They were like, we have this master plan. It's like, no, you do. I feel like you do. We're scrambling. Like, this is what you're doing. I couldn't believe it. Like, they were demonizing all these homeschoolers who want to have a chance in politics and want to learn about debate. They were literally painting Debate Club as this. They're training their children militarily with. I'm not even kidding. That's actually what they said.
I think that
Like they kept getting these shots of these military homeschoolers like doing their like little ROTC fun stuff and saying that it was like they're like trying to create an army. I mean, I don't want to get sued, but that's literally what they were without saying it, that's what they were doing to make you believe that.
This stuff used to worry. If I would see negative portrayals of homeschooling, it used to worry me. I think that after all like the COVID stuff and everything, and the fact that everybody had to become homeschooled to some degree for a while, I think that whatever they had going on, they blew it. Like
they created a world and an environment where everybody had to try that for a little while.
Right.
How are you gonna take it back?
Yeah, it's too late now. And I think enough people. It's not that everybody is homeschooling, but I think at this point, most people know people who homeschool, and those people know they're not crazy. Whereas before, you could say, all the people I know just send their kids to school. What is this weird homeschooling thing? Oh, it's this stuff I see in these documentaries. It's this stuff I see on the internet. But now everyone's like, oh no, Jim down the road homeschools his kids because his kid is really smart or whatever. And our school's not great, so they didn't want to pay to send him to private school, so he's just homeschooling him instead. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows somebody so it's like at the point where there's that level of saturation, it's like, okay, good luck. I mean, I guess you can make your document. I feel for those girls a lot because I think that is exactly right. That they were told their whole life you're going to be in front of a camera, and so this is just they're going to get used by whoever, and it's just sad. I don't understand putting your family on TV.
I don't know if they've seen our videos or anything back in the day, so I don't want to say anything that's going to make them sad. That like Jordan's saying this, I never trusted their dad in that. Like it's just a feeling. It's a gut feeling. I go by gut feeling like way too much, but I'm right a lot of the time. And Sarah too. And we were talking. As soon as I saw him, I just didn't trust him.
Any parent that would put all their kids on TV like that. Yeah. I mean, and I feel the same way about parents that have their kids all over YouTube. I'm like, I just don't trust you. You might be a nice person, maybe, I don't know, but I just whatever that thing is in your brain that says maybe I should protect my kids.
It should kick in at some point,
Why would you do that to a kid? Well, thank you for telling us about that.
You're welcome. It gave me hope this week. Now, I've got one about, I've got two, I guess.
Peanut Man.
There's the Peanut Man. And this is the Peanut Man. This man is somebody that I both despise and admire, and I don't know which one I should be. I was at Five Guys yesterday, actually, Josh. I
Peanut Man. You went to Five Guys yesterday, huh?
Yeah, I did.
How was it? What'd you get?
It's a hamburger.
Did you cheese or anything on it? How do you get your hamburgers? All the way? Or?
All the way. I put grilled peppers on it, and then
always got to get
no ketchup, and I have mustard on there because the ketchup is high fructose corn syrup. Mustard has nothing bad in it.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You go look on the mustard aisle sometime.
I've gone down the mustard aisle. I've never seen anything bad. What do you see?
Take another look.
It's just mustard seeds and something and vinegar.
No, sometimes they put funky stuff in it.
Well,
you got to take a look.
At least it's not high fructose corn syrup. Let's put it that way.
I eat a ton of mustard.
Every day.
A lot.
Okay, Josh loves his mustard.
If I have a salad, I put that's like my dressing.
That's an interesting thing.
But if you're having like a meat salad, it's like
you're talking about
like a hamburger.
Okay, so you're not. This is like a burrito bowl. You're not talking about a salad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Do you get buns or
yes.
breadless?
No, I don't do. I don't waste my time with breadless.
I'm better than you.
Yes, you are. Look, if I'm going to... My thing is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I'm going to eat perfectly. 20% of the time, I'm going to eat, what I want. And when I eat what I want, I'm happy with what I'm eating. I'm never thinking, I wish I had the... I'm thinking, I wish I had the bun because it would have been better. It is better with the bun, so I have it with the bun. 80% of the time, I eat absolutely perfectly.
My thing is kind of about that. But go ahead and tell us about the Peanut Man first.
So the Peanut Man. So I'm waiting. I'm going to pick up the orders. I'm going to take it home to Sarah. And there's a dude who walks up, and it's just he goes up to the dude who's handing out the orders, and he says, "Hey, can I have a bag?" And so I just perk up. I'm like, why is this guy getting a bag? Wait, who asks for an extra bag? So I'm watching this guy eavesdropping again. Classic me. And he walks straight over to the peanuts. They've got the peanuts, and they have the little cardboard thing. You fill it up, and then you have 10.
What'd this man do?
This dude gets the scoop, gets the bag, and just fills it.
Oh, with the paper bag?
Yeah, he gets literally 12, 13 scoops. The thing is filled. Just looks like a normal dude. Normal guy. No shame. Doesn't care who's watching. I'm just watching him like, wow, I can't believe this guy has to do this. In front of everybody. And
the peanuts.
Yeah, the peanut man. And he walked over to his girlfriend. They just set the thing. They get their burgers. They're like, all right, let's go. And they leave. Like they do this every single time. And he left. And then the guy who was giving the order, he says, Sarah? And I feel awkward because she put it under her name. So I'm like, yeah, that's
okay,
that's
Sarah.
me. So then everyone thinks I'm a girl. So then I leave. And when I was driving home, I was like, am I mad at him or do I admire this man? And it's a little bit of both. I admire him for not giving a D what anybody thinks. You know what? The peanuts are free. They're going to give me a bag. What's the difference? They're going to go.
When you buy peanuts at the store, they're expensive. So how much do you think it costs Five Guys just to give out free peanuts all the time? Is that why they charge $12 for their burgers?
So Peanut Man, you have inspired me, but also just don't. Why are you? This is such a bad thing to do. But it inspired me to stand up for my belief system. And my belief system is better than the Peanut Man's, I'm sure, but it made me want to be a little bit more bold. So thank you.
Mine isn't super exciting. It's just something that made me feel good yesterday a little bit. I was just outside with the boys. We were just playing and hanging out. Hanging
out with the boys.
And it was getting to 6:30. It's getting to where we're starting to think about doing bedtime. And I was like, man, I have not eaten
all day.
I mean, I have eaten, but I wanted to get one more good meal in today. And I'm just I don't know. Am I going to have time before the boys go to bed?
The boys.
What'd
you decide?
And, well, that was the thing. I was like, you know what? I just need to be at peace that I don't need to control this. Because I feel like I'm always feeling like I need to, that's why food is such a thing for me, because it's something I can control. Yeah. And so it just felt good to be like, you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat before the boys go to bed. And if they go to bed, then I don't know. Maybe I just won't eat. I'll just wait till the morning to eat. That's not a big deal.
One day of your life.
If I told somebody this story, they would be like, Josh, that's not a big deal. I'd be like, I know it. I don't know why I'm acting like it is. Yeah. And it just felt good.
Or if you have to eat at 9 at night, because that's the way that it was.
And that's what happened.
There you go.
That's what happened. I made myself a sandwich, I think is what I ate.
And that's just what it was that day.
That's what it was. And I feel fine. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I think that is a great lesson. 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time you just say, I'm going to have that cake at the party. I'm going to have that. I don't care. I don't care. Then I think that will help your mental state.
That is helpful.
We recommend.
Jordan, based on what it looks like your thing is about, I'm going to go ahead and go first.
All right, sounds good.
This is a game, a little cheap game that you can get online. It's just called The Number, and it's super fun. It's basically a bluffing gambling game, not with real money, Jordan, but you basically just, you write down 3 numbers, everybody else writes down numbers, and then if your number has any numbers of anybody that wrote below you, then yours get marked out and you get points if any of your numbers are still there, basically. And so the whole game is just, and you can only use a number once per round. So the whole thing becomes like, oh, is Jordan going to do 2-2-2 this time, or is he going to do 4-4-4? What's he going to do this time? Is he going to do 9? So
interesting.
It's just, it's a big meta game.
Yeah, you're constantly trying to assess the person's, how the person thinks.
The whole game is played above the table. It's it's about the people you're playing with. It's not fun. About if I played with you, it would be very different than if I played with Kelly or Amy
funny.
or Sarah. I don't know what's going on with this microphone. It's actually a pretty recently released game, and it's pretty fun. Okay, that's mine. What about you?
I have a friend, and Sarah has a friend named Tina, and her daughter has, at 6 years old, was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's near her or on her brainstem, and they've had 3 surgeries. Oh man. But it's very risky to really go in there because a lot of bad stuff could happen.
Yeah.
So her it's her face, the left side of her face is like kind of doesn't work very well,
Mm-hmm.
and she's having trouble like now eating normally because her mouth doesn't want to open up. So they're from Canada, and up there they say, well, there's no treatment other than doing chemo for 10 years, and she's gonna have to live with this for the rest of her life. And so they don't accept that, and so they found a place in Texas who is not covered under insurance, but that they have a really high success rate with this specific kind of cancer for kids.
Okay.
And it could be gone within a year, but the treatment is very expensive per month.
Okay.
And so I think some of her friends launched a GoFundMe for them, and it's already reached like $32,000 or something like that.
What do they?
But they need like
get? Like over $100,000?
Probably more than that. I know 32,000 seems like it's a lot, but like with this treatment, that goes very quickly. So I think that will last them like a month or something like that, and they need to do this for a year. So if you can put that into perspective, it's a lot of money. If there's a GoFundMe, we'll link to that. If anybody out there feels led to give, that would be amazing, because they need help right now with that, because it's kind of just a terrible situation. I had a friend growing up who had brain cancer at 6 years old too. It's literally almost the same story. Yeah. And so I really, really hope that this treatment in Texas works, because back when we were kids, what alternative treatments are there for anything? You know what I mean? So we'll link to that down below, and if you feel led to give to that would be amazing.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's about the end of the show, Josh. Do we have anything else?
No, I think that's about it. This was another long episode.
I know. We've started and stopped this thing like 4 times. So this is going to be like a 2-hour episode? No,
wow.
It always cuts down, so we'll see what it is.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching another episode of the podcast, episode number 6. And please make sure you fill out that survey.
Yeah, that would really help.
About the segments. And we'll talk about it next week. We'll find out what people like and stuff. And you'll find out what people like, because we'll make sure we do that stuff next week. And we'll get rid of things that people said that
we'll cut anything. We'll see you guys next week with another podcast. Bye.
Bye-bye.